Crop News, brought to you by the Kansas Association of Wheat Growers and Kansas Wheat Commission. Together, we are Kansas Wheat.
Good morning and welcome back to the show. We're at the 2012 Kansas Agribusiness Expo in Wichita. Gosh, Sue, that's hard to get out. So thanks for joining us, Sue.
Yeah,
Sue
sure.
is the Communications Director for the Kansas Corn Commission. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Perfect. Let's talk about this year. I know not a lot of people want to talk about this year, and rightfully so, understandable. But what do you guys do to support corn farmers here in the state when you've got such a tough year?
Well, you know, it really was a tough year, not only for corn, but really for agriculture across the board. And, you know, all of our partners in agriculture, I think, all suffered pretty much equally, not only the grain farmers, but also our livestock folks and ethanol plants as well. So you know, it's just one of those years. You hope that next year gets better. You know, we'll continue to work to keep those markets strong for our customers. You know, working with livestock and working with ethanol and you know, just really trying to keep the corn farmers up front and keep people understanding of what we do on the farm.
Right. Well, I know corn acres were up
Yep.
and continue to grow. A lot of that has to do with bushel prices and things like that. But not only that, but the technology that's going into corn nowadays is fantastic.
Yeah, you know, it really is, and you know, it's one of the exciting things we've seen, you know, over the last several years is just the improvement in the corn crop itself, and of course, you know, you get a year like this where you have a drought. To this extent, nothing really looks good.
Devastating drought.
But you know, at the same time, you talk to a lot of growers who say if we would have had the same seed stock we had in the 1970s, we would have had a zero crop. And you know, we did have a crop, and not as good as we wanted, but you know, it's you know, hopefully still meet the needs of our customers here in the state of Kansas.
Well, let's talk about your customers. Livestock industry being
Right.
probably your primary customer. Kansas growing as a beef state. It's always
Right.
been a beef state, but continues to grow as a beef state. How important is it that you guys continue to communicate to the livestock industry of new technologies coming out, updates on crop conditions and things like that?
Well, you know, exactly, and we work really, and always had a great relationship with the livestock industry. One of the things the Corn Commission is really proud of is its longstanding support of the U.S. Meat Export Federation, working to build exports for meats like beef and pork, and that's something we've been working very closely with that group to keep those exports strong, because you can either export corn, if you're looking at exports, you can export corn as corn, or you can do it a value-added product in the form of beef and pork and other meats.
Well, and you briefly touched on the ethanol industry, which is growing in the state of Kansas also. How important, I mean, are you guys feel sometimes caught between, and I don't want to say supporting the livestock industry or supporting the ethanol industry, but there's only so much corn to go around, especially in a drought-stricken year that we've had this year.
Well, you know, one thing about, and of course, I also work on the association side. We have Kansas Corn Growers Association and the Sorghum Association in our office, and both corn and sorghum are used to make ethanol. The good thing about it is a third of that grain comes back out as distillers' grains, which has become increasingly vital to our livestock producers. And so I have a lot of livestock producers coming up to me actually worried about ethanol production because they want to continue their usage of distillers' grains in those rations. So, you know, really there's a lot of synergy between those industries, you know, the corn and the livestock and the ethanol, and you know, I think it works really good in the state of Kansas especially.
Well, and you look at, say, the International Grains Program. It's another program here in the state of Kansas that really helps support grains all across the state.
Yeah, IGP at K-State, and also the U.S. Grains Council, which is kind of a national organization, worldwide organization that builds grain exports across the world. So you know, all these things, you know, just really working to make sure our markets are strong and continue to be strong, even through a down year like what we're experiencing this year.
Perfect. Sue, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I hope everything goes well.
Yeah, I
Better
think it
year
will.
this year.
I hope so.